G'day and welcome to the Hunting Connection podcast. My name is Zach Williams and I am your host. Here we'll connect you with hunters, fishers and outdoor enthusiasts from around the globe. This podcast will share hunting and fishing stories including past experiences and tackle the tough hunting stereotypes our community faces. We hope to be a positive influence to those outside the community while also having a laugh along the way. Hope you enjoy the podcast. G'day and welcome to another bonus episode of the Hunting Connection podcast. Today we have Jurgen joining us. Jurgen's the bloke that I hunted with in New Zealand, and we thought we'd do a quick little podcast to wrap up the end of the trip. It's been about 2 months since almost 2 months since I was there now, Jurgen.
Yeah, just about, I think. Quite a while.
Man, that's gone quick.
Yeah, damn. That was before the roar as well, and now, God.
Yeah, it's gone way too quick. But we finally got a quick time to do a little wrap up to the end of our trip because we left everyone hanging, and I've been getting messages about what happened the rest of the trip. Everyone's seen photos, but they're keen to hear stories of what actually happened.
Yeah, it's a good story too, I think.
Yeah,
I'd rate it up there.
Definitely, man, definitely. We'll kick it off from where we left off. From memory, we left it off at the hostel backpackers that we stayed at in Lake Tekapo.
Yeah, ready to dry in all our stuff and ready to head back into the hills for a few days.
Yeah, so we dried everything down. We went out and had a good meal with the American boys, Liam and Aiden. Stayed up at the hostel, and we got chatting to a Canadian bloke, and while we were cooking up some Tahr meat in the hostel, and shared that around with him and had a good chat on everything from education to everything.
Yeah, it's great talking with meeting people like that in places like that, and they just sort of, they don't know anything about hunting, and you can just sort of explain everything to them. It's a lot of fun, actually.
Yeah, and being able to share the meat with them as well, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty good tasting as well.
Oh, insane. I'm telling everyone here that it's definitely the highest rated game meat that I've had so far. Yet to try chamois.
I think chamois is pretty good. I would say Tahr. I've cooked some lately, and it has been pretty good. So you may have swung me in that direction.
That's funny. Let's touch on that quickly. There was a couple things we were eating, and before I got there, you're like, yeah, I don't really rate it. Like rabbit. You're like, yeah, I don't really like rabbit. I don't like. I'm not massive on Tahr. And then we seem to change your mind.
Yeah, definitely. One thing in New Zealand that I don't understand is people don't like chamois for some reason. I really freaking like chamois.
Yeah, well, that blows me away because from everyone that I've spoken to, chamois their highest rated, even above Tahr. So,
yeah, you never know. You talk to one guy and he's like, no one eats it, and maybe it was just that one guy. You don't really know.
Exactly. So we woke up, we milled around a bit at the hostel. I think we got pies and coffees and stuff, and headed up.
That was a bit of a late start.
Yeah, very late start, but we a 15-20 minute drive from the hostel to where we parked up. Got all our gear ready, and I think it was about a 6 or 7K walk to the hut we stayed at, whether you want to mention what hut it was or not.
Honestly, I can't remember. Can't remember at all, but it's just like it's a very small sort of old musterer's hut. I know people take horses there quite a lot, but quite primitive, I would say.
Yeah, it was a pretty cool little hut. The walk in, still sore from the couple days beforehand. I think we're all a bit slower, even though you were still at decent pace. We stopped and had cheese and Metwurst breaks a couple times, and slowly made our way in. And you spotted a wallaby that Liam ended up taking.
Yeah, that was a bit touch and go there. I sort of should have known that we would bump something on the way. I knew we would see some for sure, but yeah, we just bumped a wallaby out of some tussocks, and it was like a pretty easy 80-meter shot or something like that for Liam. And man, he was wrapped with that. He was more into the wallaby than any other tahr he shot or anything like that. So,
which blows me away. But yeah, I think he topped it on the trip to Australia with Cody afterwards. So he got some pretty interesting hunting in over here. Him and Aiden both. So
yeah, I hope so, man. That would have been cool.
From what I understand, they got on, 80-ish meters from a nice roaring stag, but just couldn't take a shot. So yeah,
Yep.
they got some hunting in with Cody, got in off some roaring stags with no shot. I think they may have seen some fallow. I'm not too sure.
Yeah,
but
they got a couple of goats or something as well, didn't
yeah,
they?
they both took a nice billy goat each, which was a highlight for them. I think Aiden may have missed a pig, if I remember correctly, Cody telling me. For a couple of Americans, they sure had some tough shooting.
Yeah. Oh, well, that'll be good for them. Yeah, man, I can't wait to get over to Australia. That'll be freaking awesome.
Yeah, man, we can't wait to get you over here, that's for sure. Yeah, so Liam shot the wallaby. He took some meat off of it. He took the testicles because that's something he really wanted to try for some strange reason.
Yeah, I don't know.
From where we took the wallaby, you could see the hut, so we made it down the creek and up the hill and into the hut. And when we got there was already a pack there. So we put our stuff down, and Jurgen and I went out and had a good look around, out till dark. You'd been there a couple of weeks previous?
Yeah, I've been there before, and I actually just went back there recently. It's very, very open country, and it definitely, I wouldn't say it has the animal numbers that a lot of other places have, but I know sort of a few bluff systems and stuff like that where you often see animals. And so it was kind of just one of those spots where I was like, I know if we go in here, we'll find some animals. There's a nice hut, so if there's bad weather like we had the last trip with a bunch of snow coming in, there's plenty of space to dry our gear and hold out if the weather gets bad.
Yeah, exactly.
But that first evening was quite disappointing, really.
Yeah, we didn't see anything. Prime country, prime afternoon, and just we got to not to the peak, but we got to a decent ridge and glassed and just nothing.
Yeah, glassed a decent amount of country and just nothing. Seen a few weeks before, I had seen a whole big mob of nannies there, but I guess they just moved off into another area.
Yeah, as they do though. They'd move around pretty quick, especially if they got people around shooting at them as well. So
yeah, for sure.
So yeah, we made our way back. I think we got back to camp 9-10 o'clock at night, and
yeah, it's too late.
Met up with the other guys, and they had one more person come through, a bloke from, where was he from? He was the Netherlands, and the girl that was staying there, she was from Sweden, I believe. So yeah, we got back and cooked up a bunch of tahr and had dinner, and got to share tahr with those guys, which was pretty cool, and just chatting about different culture stuff and explaining about hunting in Australia and hunting in New Zealand and America to them. So that was another highlight of the trip, being able to do that.
Yeah, a lot of we managed to convince that guy to. I wonder if he bought a bow.
Yeah,
I'd love to know.
Yeah, so would I. He was pretty keen on it by the end of it, getting a little takedown recurve and putting it in his pack, because I think he'd been walking quite a bit. His feet were screwed, and he looked like he had an infection in one leg with quite a bit of swelling in it.
Yeah. Oh man, his ankle.
Yeah.
That hut's on Te Aroha Trail, so that they were walking the length of or a lot of people do it in bits, but they'll walk the length of New Zealand basically. So I assume he still had a lot to go.
Yeah, from what I remember, he covered a decent amount, and he's seen all sorts of animals along the way, and it sounds like those trails get pretty close to some animals, judging by what both of them were saying.
Yeah, especially in that area. I've seen Tahr right on the trail pretty much.
That's definitely a good experience for them.
Yeah,
Especially,
no, that's cool. I mean, just being out there in the mountains and seeing Tahr and stuff like that, it must be cool for them,
oh,
even if they're not hunting.
definitely. And you wonder how many people do those trails over there and they don't actually know what's over there, so they're seeing these strange goat things that they've never seen before.
Yeah, that probably. I don't know what they would think, like, because it's not a goat. You see a bull Tahr off on a ridge. It kind of looks like a grizzly bear. So
Yeah. Well, I was definitely pleasantly surprised. Jumping a little bit ahead, but yeah, I was definitely surprised on the actual size of a bull Tahr after seeing a young nanny.
yeah, no, definitely a big size difference.
Oh, insane size difference. But yeah, we went to sleep that night. We got the fire going in the hut, so it was a little bit warmer. We ended up getting it was another late-ish start, just after sunrise, enough to have breakfast and stuff from memory.
Yeah, that's right. And then we were off up the valley. I've seen a spot. It was quite a ways where we were heading to, and so basically my plan was pretty much just like gun it for as far as we can till we get to a spot where I know there's more animals. Because of the evening before not seeing anything, I was like, oh, maybe this place has had some pressure or something like that, and I was keen to just like get as far away as possible. But that kind of turned out to be a bit of a mistake.
Yeah, exactly. It was the last morning of the hunt. We told the guys, latest we'll be back is about 1-2 p.m. and then make our way back to the car. So yeah, we were kind of in a rush. We hit down, midway across the hill. Oh, not even midway across the hill, just above the creek line. And yeah, we were making distance, and we're glassing every 5 minutes of walking. Would stop and have a quick glass what's ahead and stuff. And I kept on seeing this black rock, and I'm just like, every other black rock I've glassed, it's been a rock or something, a bit of shade. Seen it, I'm like, nah, that's just another rock. And we walked a little bit. I'm like, Jurgen, I think there might be a Tahr above us, and we've both dropped down, and yeah, sure enough, there was a lone bull Tahr.
Instantly, it was like, oh shit, that's a Tahr.
Yeah, we both dropped down, and we're like, shit, what's the game plan? And he was just bedded on a rock ledge in the sun, enjoying the sun. I'm not even sure he was aware we were there.
Yeah, he had just sort of spotted us, but he was kind of just, we were way below. He was about 400 meters away.
Yeah,
and he just wasn't that fussed about us. And I think he was just like, oh, I might get out of here just in case.
Yeah,
but he wasn't in a hurry to get away or anything.
No, like he was laying there for a bit, and we were talking about our game plan. And then just as we decided the game plan, like I was going to drop back into the creek and then come up another little ridge and get a little bit closer and higher, he'd started walking. And I've just gone, quickly, what's the range? And you've ranged it, and I've stacked your pack on top of my pack, and took a shot at 400 yards, which was the furthest shot.
Virtually shooting at like a 45-degree upwards.
Yeah.
Upwards at like 400 meters. It was a bloody good shot.
Yeah, I took the shot, and, I'd put it just behind the shoulder, but, it was a hell of an angle, a hell of a shot, and afterwards we realized that the ball was quartering away a bit more than I thought he was, because it's hard to judge it at that distance, that's for sure, in that time frame.
Yeah.
And took the shot, and he's kind of spun around, and then so he was going off to the right and then spun around and went up to the left, but stood right on top of the ridge. And we're just like, come on, drop below the ridge, because I wasn't 100% sure I hit him, but he was looked a bit stunned.
Yeah, I think I remember looking in the binos, I could see his him sort of like impact shudder, but I still, I wasn't 100% sure. And then sure enough, he stands there for a bit, and then he starts swaying back and forth, and then sort of rolls onto his back with his legs up in the air.
And like I'm just like drop down, and he's like rolled and then stood back up and then rolled again, and then legs in the air. You could just see legs in the tussock, but he'd rolled down like a little gully between us and the next bit of hill, and we just lost sight of him. So we're like, oh, we got to make that 400 meter, which it doesn't sound like much, but it probably took us 25 minutes to get up there. Because like we're stopping,
we definitely
glassing.
we wanted to take our time as well, though, just to like, in case it was a bit far back or anything like that. I was like, I think we waited like 15, 20 minutes or something.
Yeah.
And then slowly making our way up there.
Yeah, and then stopping and glassing, but that tussock is just so high and so hard to see. And like when you're looking at a picturesque hill of New Zealand, it doesn't really show what it's really like until you get into it, because it's just rocks and holes and all sorts of shit under that stuff.
Yeah, Spaniards as well, just like rough, uneven country.
And they sure made a friend out of me, you know. I was popping blisters not blisters, but little pus blisters with the spines of the Spaniards when I got home still, like just popping them.
Are you still picking them out at all?
Nah, they're all gone now. I think I got them all.
They're all gone? Oh, that's good.
You know, you'd think a month and a half, almost 2 months later,
they'll probably all either rot away into your skin or come out by then, hopefully.
You would hope, yeah. But yeah, we slowly made our way, and you shot up a bit higher than I did, and I cut across the hill.
It was looking a bit, I was getting a little bit worried. I was like, damn, like we're like no blood, can't see any footprints, like where the hell is this guy?
Yeah, we were right on top of him, and we're like, where is he? And then I took a couple steps, and just that sigh of relief when I seen him just laying there stone dead. I'm like, yep, we got him. And you've like ran down the hill, and I just took a moment to myself, just taking it all in, because they are an incredible animal, that's for sure.
Yeah, and that was quite a good bull as well. I can't remember what age he was, but he was definitely like a mature animal.
Yeah, I believe you aged him at about 7.5. I
think he was 6 or 7.5 or something like that.
Yeah, I think you said 7.5, and then when we went to the taxidermist later on, he confirmed that you're right with the bull, but a way off on Liam's nanny.
Yeah, way off on Liam's one. Oh, don't get me started about that. Really tough. Yeah.
You were blown away, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, that's probably the best animal that I've ever had the joy of being a part of, I would say.
Yeah, I'm spewing I missed out on that. But yeah, for those that don't know, what'd you originally age her at? About 12, I think.
I think I was like, this is a really old nanny. It's about 12 years old.
Yeah.
And Liam was stoked with it then, and it turned out that it was actually 18.
Yeah, 17.5. I'm pretty
17
sure.
17.5, yeah.
And insane. He's like, that's almost one of the oldest nannies you've seen. So.
Yeah, I think the oldest. It's up there with the oldest nanny probably ever shot in New Zealand.
Yeah.
I think the oldest they've gotten in the wild is about 18. So. Yeah, that's pretty bloody cool.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. It just shows you how many hunters target bulls and leave nannies behind. If she could make it 17.5, almost 18 years out in the wild there, in a pretty accessible spot.
Yeah, the amount of other Tahr she's seen cark it, leaving nannies like that, sort of an animal like that, just has so much experience to give on to other animals as well.
Well, she's pretty much got more experience in the hunting world than, both of us. Not combined, but both of us.
Yeah, any of us. Yeah.
So, yeah, she's definitely seen a lot of hunters, chopper cars, all sorts.
Yeah, but your bull was that was a nice animal as well.
Oh, he was cool. We walked up on the shot and we're looking. We found the blood and we're looking and we're like, where? Because they're just so fluffy. We're looking for the entrance hole. And it turned out, just behind the back rib is where it went in on the right-hand side. And it came out of the neck above the front shoulder on the left-hand side. So quite a hell of a
It's about perfect, really. That's about as good as you could ask for in that angle, pretty much.
100%. And it was a total fluke.
No, it was a well calculated shot.
It's the rifle, the guy that sighted it in that rifle done an awesome job, especially because 4 days beforehand you're like, I think it's not sighted in properly. We need to check it, and checked it, and it was perfect. So
Yeah, I wonder who did that.
but yeah, so yeah, we took a minute there, and from where we were standing, you could see Lake Tekapo, and just being able to see all of that in the background was awesome. And then you started caping it because it's a new animal to me. I wasn't quite sure on if I done it, I would have gone straight up the back and done it like I would have done a red deer or a anything else. But you did it slightly different. You want to explain how you did that?
Yeah, so I've read this before. Basically with Tahr, because their hair's quite shaggy and long, you don't really want to split up the middle of the back, sort of going up the center along the spine on the back of the neck, because when they stitch it back together, the hair will part on either side, and it can make the stitching quite obvious. So you sort of want to make it off center so that it's not when they stitch it up, it's not as obvious.
Yeah, so that was crazy. I'd never heard of that, obviously, because I haven't hunted them before. So that was a cool thing to learn.
Yeah.
And then you just socked out the legs.
Yeah, not the easiest animals to skin for sure.
Definitely not like that, but yeah, it was definitely cool. So we also had a little bit of snow still on the ground, so we were able to take the back stakes out and chuck them straight on the snow on the ground, and they were able to cool down real quick. We took the legs off. I grabbed the heart out, and grabbed what we could and loaded up the packs and headed to the ridge. And you're just a mountain goat. You're being acclimatized to the altitude and I was just struggling. I was better than the start because I was slowly coming to, but it's some crazy country.
Yeah, it's definitely a bull task, and with the head and the skull and everything is a bloody heavy load for sure.
Yeah, I was lucky. I dumped everything pretty much out, bar water and a knife. So we chucked all the skin and the head on my pack and the meat in yours. We got to the ridge, started walking, and you had a mini freak out, if you remember that.
Oh yeah, I thought I had lost my knife for a second.
Nah, your camera. Yeah.
Oh, my camera.
You couldn't find your camera. You couldn't find your camera.
Yeah, I have to dump my pack, find my camera real quick, then go. Actually, yeah, no, it's in there.
But yeah, turns out my knife is still sitting in that spot. So when you get back there, there's a Gerber Vital sitting there.
Oh right, I was there the other day. I could have gone and looked for
it. But yeah, we made our way back down the ridge and just chatting everything hunting and future hunting plans and about how artistic you are and different things that you could do with that. You designed the filter freezer logo, and you had some ideas for some other things which were pretty cool.
Yeah, I saw your hog deer patch that you got the other day.
They're cool, eh?
Yeah, they are really cool. I really want one.
I'll start applying. I think they'll start opening up soon for applications. Couple more months.
Yeah, I'll have to start doing it. I have to remind myself to do that.
Don't worry, I'll send it to you when you when it gets drawn anyway. But yeah, we made our way back down to the hut, and I'm pretty sure, the Swedish chick was just about to leave, and the Netherlands dude had already left. But yeah, we cooked up the back straps and the heart, and had a good feed up. Said our goodbyes to them as they went off, and it was just unreal. Like, we walked down the hill, and I'm like, oh, let's prank the American boys, and they're like, oh, how'd you go? I'm like, nah, fuck this place, fuck this, stupid bloody country, rah rah rah. And they're like, what, you didn't see anything? I'm like, rah, rah. And they're like, really? And then I've turned around and showed them the head sticking out the backpack, and they were pretty stoked.
Yeah, especially they hadn't seen a bull up close as well. So yeah, seeing a bull Tahr was definitely pretty cool for them, I bet.
Definitely. And then we packed everything up, and no, I started off with the cape and the head on my pack, but I already had a pretty heavy pack, and we made it down across the creek and up the ridge, and you're just like, nah, you're too slow, just give me that. So
yeah, I was feeling a bit bad. I was like, his pack was already really heavy. Fuck, I should probably just help him.
yeah, so you're a bloody beast when it comes to that. You're just insane. So you had all the meat in your pack as well, plus your camera, and you had the rifle as well, and you still took off pretty damn quick. It just shows you, if you hunt those areas pretty quick, how acclimatized you are to it compared to, a flatlander from Australia.
Yeah, no, that was a big load as well. I was definitely pretty sore by the end.
Yeah, and then not finding that spot where we came up the creek when we're almost at the car and going through all that spiky shit. That was probably the worst bit. The Matagari
and the rose hips.
Yeah, you had Liam crawling his way through, and I've just thrown everything on top of it and climbed over the top of it all. And I was in shorts, I was scratched up, I was bleeding, blood everywhere. And then coming through the creek, I've smacked my shin on a rock, and that started bleeding. So I've come out the creek.
Yeah, it's like, thank God it's the end.
Yeah, we got to the car and had a couple ciders left in your esky or your chili bin or cooler, whatever you want to call it. And celebrated with a couple drinks, and we hit the road. One thing that happened that was quite funny. The chick from Sweden, she left her rain jacket cover in the hut, and you're like, oh, I'll just leave it here. I'm like, oh, just grab it just in case we see her. And we stopped into the grocery store to grab some warm food, and let alone she was in there grabbing food as well. And it's like, hang on, I got something in the car for you. So that was pretty funny.
Yeah, should have figured she'd be there.
Yeah, pretty small place, so you'd think that she'd be in the closest town, but just to run into her into the grocery store, that definitely was funny. Then we made our way back to Christchurch and got some rest and headed out to the taxidermist the next morning to drop off the cape and the skulls and Liam's wallaby skull and his Tahr skull. Sorted all that stuff out, and we went to hunting and fishing whatever hunting and fishing that was, and had a good look around and checked out a bunch of the gear. We don't have a massive hunting shop like that here in Australia, so it was cool just to see everything about. Oh, that's another thing that happened in the shopping car park while Liam was just before Liam was posting his bag back when we were there. You had Aiden in the back seat of your car, and he was
messing with my bow.
He was joking around about it, and he'd messed around with the bow and de-strung it in the back of the car, so he felt pretty bad about that.
Yeah, it's all fixed now, so hopefully I'll be using that.
That's good.
Someday soon.
Was that video that you posted up this morning, was that to do with that hunt? Was that recent?
No, that's from quite a while ago, actually. That was the last time I used my bow, I think.
Oh yeah, nice. That was
been far too long. We don't have we may have nice big hunting stores, but archery stores are another thing to come by, and it's quite when your bow breaks, it's quite a pain in the butt to get it repaired and get it fixed up. Yeah,
I bet it is. So good to hear that you got that back on now for some hunting. That last video you posted on YouTube, that was an awesome video.
Yeah, cheers. Yeah.
Really, like being able to see the country and then see that was pretty cool. And just understand a bit more of the country. Like when I got home, I watched that Stephen Ranella episode where they were down there, and being able to watch it and then relate to my experience just gone. So that was another cool thing, to be able to relate to that episode a bit more.
Yeah, for sure. It's really it's mountainous country, man. Like the other day I was looking just as I got my bow fixed, while I was still down south, I was looking at going for another Tahr hunt. And we had a huge dump of snow, and it was one of those situations where I just wasn't. I hiked into that same hut and spent a night there during a blizzard.
Oh,
And the next morning, I was like, "There's no way I'm getting close to anything in this weather."
that's
And if you
nuts.
don't have the right clothing and gaiters and stuff like that, it's just sort of not worth it.
Yeah, it was, even that little bit of snow dumping we had, that was crazy enough for someone that's never hunted in that type of stuff before.
Yeah, right. Rifle hunting can be a different story.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. That win we had, I was never getting close towards that end of the blizzard with anything. So yeah, I had the bow as well the whole time, but yeah, it was just pretty hard country. Would have to go somewhere else to try and chase Tahr with the bow. That's for sure.
yeah, it's just good timing, pretty much. I'd say.
Yeah.
Hopefully, you'll be back soon enough.
Oh, I can't wait. Hope I'll probably have a couple kiddos with me. The youngest Ollie, he seemed pretty keen to get over. So,
Yeah, awesome.
but yeah, we've done a quick 30 minutes. Anything else you want to plug? Plug your YouTube channel, man.
Yeah, Strider Media, Strider on YouTube. Have sort of a series I like to call Wild Hunt, just sort of solo filming, just my hunting adventures up in the mountains in New Zealand,
Yeah,
um,
it's
and a few other random, montages and stuff like that. But yeah, mainly just solo hunting.
it's awesome to watch. But watching you being so far away from the camera, walking, like I can just imagine that you've set it up, you've walked down, and then you've turned around and ran back up. I'm just like, man, that's way too much.
Oh yeah,
Some of the footage.
yeah, those are a pain in the ass, but they're really worth it. I like to call those money shots.
Yeah, they definitely
They just look really good.
they do. That one that you posted this morning of you and the pup walking along there, that was really cool. But yeah, my first thought was that silly bastard has to run back up there and grab that camera and then go back down.
It's worse when I forget to turn the camera on or it gets blown over by the wind or something like that, because that has happened quite a few times.
That would suck. That would suck. So you're off to America in a couple weeks, in a couple months.
Yeah, I headed to Colorado to do some hunting, so that should be a lot of fun.
Awesome. We'll have to get you back on the podcast after that to hear how that all goes. But I'll let you go, man. And thank you very much for jumping on. And
Yeah, for sure, man. No worries. Can't wait to have you back down here in New Zealand.
I can't wait to have you down here in Oz, mate. Have a good one.
Ah, awesome.
Catch ya.
Right on. Cheers, man.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Hunting Connection Podcast. Please head over to our social media and give us a follow. Instagram at Hunting Connection Podcast, Facebook at Hunting Connection Podcast, Twitter at Hunting Connect, TikTok at Hunting Connection Podcast. If you've enjoyed, please share with your friends and family, tag us in your photos and videos on social media, subscribe, rate and review to help grow the podcast. If you're interested in giving additional support to the podcast, you can head over to our podcast's Patreon page. Thank you very much for listening and catch you next episode.